Please be seated. Thank you, my fellow senators. Back on November 2nd, I think it was, the election day here in Texas, I woke my wife up and said, "Come on, Bev, get out of bed. You get to go vote for me one more time." Her response is not repeatable. But I think she did. You know, Tommy was talking about how long I've been married. Lucky man. I've been married for 37 years. Why? Well, you marry a woman because you love that woman. But there's always been something very special about my wife. She gave me confidence. It may surprise you that when I was younger, I was kind of an absent-minded, pencil neck, awkward, geeky jock type. Might surprise you. She didn't see it that way. And I still remember as a young man thinking how lucky and fortunate I was to have a woman of such beauty and talent think I was something special. She gave me confidence because she believed in me. I believed in myself. And I've drug her all over this country. The day we got married, 11 in the morning in Annapolis, Maryland. At 10 o'clock at night, I was in San Francisco with her. Her comment on our wedding night that she was kind of tired was true. But from the time we were first married to 9.5 months later when she presented me with our first son, to the time I said, you know, it's time to go to sea, take care of the family, to the time I said we're going back to Texas, to the time I volunteered her to be a CPS caseworker, she's always been there at my side. She has been the wind beneath my wings. And I would like to thank her for 37 years. Ken Herman wrote a beautiful piece in the Austin American Statesman on January 6th concerning a recent tragic and sorrowful event, the death of Corporal Tevin Wynn in Afghanistan. Much of what he wrote about I observed myself. Corporal Tevin Wynn was from Hutto, Texas. He was killed in Afghanistan on December the 28th while on patrol with his Marine unit. Since that time, our country has lost 10 more soldiers and Marines. Well, last Thursday, I was in Brownwood, Texas, to pay my respects to Tevin Wynn and his family and his memory. Now, Tevin Wynn's last name is not spelled W-I-N. It's spelled N-G-U-Y-E-N. Tevin Wynn's father, who lives and worked in Hutto, Texas, escaped from Vietnam and came here to this country and to this state for the freedom and the opportunity that it offers. Why was Tevin being born in Brownwood? Because his mother, Amy Salazar Wynn, was from Brownwood. And Tam Wynn, his father, and Amy Wynn, his mother, and Monique Stearns, the mother of his 4-month-old son, and his 4-month-old son were all there in a small Catholic church in Brownwood, Texas, across the street from Howard Payne University. In this church, many people were there. His high school coaches were there. His friends, the people he played football with in Hutto. The service was in English. The choir sang in Spanish. The Patriot Guard, the Patriot Riders, stood at attention outside the church. And when we left the church and joined the funeral procession, which was going to a country cemetery in Brown County, Texas, about 15 miles outside of Brownwood, the streets were lined with thousands of Texans, and they were all standing at attention and saluting Tevin Wynn and waving their flags. And as I was standing at this cemetery, this beautiful, peaceful place in Central Texas, and I watched the Marines stand at attention as they lowered Tevin Wynn's body in the ground. And I watched his father and I watched his mother stay there until their son was properly buried. I thought, this is a snapshot of Texas in 2011. And all of us were there. All of us who were there, all several thousand of us who were there, were all united. We were all united in our sorrow at the tragic loss of an American hero. But we were also united in our love for this country and our love for this state. And we were united in our determination to stay free. Tevin Wynn and thousands like him have given their lives for our freedom and our right to govern ourselves. We owe it to him, and we owe it to all who have sacrificed so much for us to give them our best efforts on their behalf. So let's roll up our sleeves and let's get to work. One of the things that I think has made our state better and stronger than other states and, to a certain extent, the federal government, is that in our Constitution we are required to balance our budget. And we also, in our Constitution, generally have to ask the people for permission before we borrow their money. The federal government has neither of these requirements, and it needs to change. The federal budget deficit is over $14 trillion.